sors l'automatique, mon flow est trop technique. Bungie, à bout le fric est vite d'appeler les flics. C'est
Stonks, baby. Housing market is the new stonk. Housing market is the new stonk. And for those of you that don't know what stonk is yet, I will make an informational YouTube for you so you can kind of keep up with the hip world of finance. But anyways, back to the housing market. It is insane right now. I remember thinking back when Corona hit, I was like, man, I don't know how people are going to do it. You know, people losing their jobs this month. I read it was like 700,000 unemployment claims. So 700,000 a month. That sounds like a big number. And, you know, I was just thinking like, I do not know how people are going to do it. And then 2020, the stock market's like, boom. And I was like, yeah, well, you know, the stock market's weird. The stock market, I don't know much about the stock market. Apparently only rich people maybe are in it or something. That's what I thought in 2020. But, you know, the housing market, I'm going to feel bad for all those people that, you know, losing jobs, not going to be able to afford a house. And then it's like, oh, well, I got a friend who lost their job. And they're like, well, also I'm getting divorced. No big deal. And they're like, I'm going to buy a $400,000 house. And you're like, how do you get a $400,000 house? You don't have a job. So it's not very funny, but it's true. You got these people, they're losing their jobs. I don't know where this money's coming from. And then I just start thinking, how is this happening? How is this happening? Then my conspiracy brain starts kicking on. And I'm like, all right, well, so Micheal Burry was saying in '08 that all these CDOs, collateral debt obligations, and they're now replaced in 2016 with a BTO, a bespoke trench opportunity.
Most recently, they've been called bespoke trenches. They're not a new thing. They've been around before. That was a market pre-crisis that was more than $500 billion. And the reason why it's been rising very, very, very fast is basically there's been a quest for yield. And the types of haircuts I'm talking about can be in a range of like 2 to 10%, 15%, which means that you can ultimately be up to 80 times levered, 80 times levered on a basket of US company.
So now it's not collateral debt obligation, it's a now bespoke trench opportunity, and that's how we get housing market being a stonk.
Okay, let's just dive right into it, folks. Big Shorts investor Micheal Burry says Teslas, I promise it's the one and only time I say Tesla minus that time this episode. 1.5 billion bet on Bitcoin was a distraction, and Dogecoin's record price signals a massive bubble. Right here, he says, a Doge's breakfast, maybe. That's his tweet, which was a deleted tweet because Micheal Burry deleted all of his tweets after he had a SEC investigation put onto his investing company. He says he warned us of a bubble, and now he's going to delete his tweets. Something like that. That's a paraphrase. Don't quote me on that. We are in a blow-off top in all things. We are in a blow-off top in all things. Okay, I thought I said that wrong, but I said that right. Markets have now bubbled over in a dangerous way, he said in an earlier tweet, which is deleted. Burry hinted in yet another tweet that he expects a market crash in the coming months. Woo! So, Micheal Burry, he's on board with this bubble. I don't know. Maybe the housing market isn't a stonk after all. You know, I was kind of worried that maybe I was just thinking this on my own. So, of course, I hit the YouTubes, see if there's anybody else. And I found this video by George Gammon.
So price is pretty flat, as we know, until the beginning of the 2000s, when the government and the Fed and a lot of other factors help us inflate this huge housing bubble comes all the way down, bottoms out in 2012. Very important. I'd like to point out, didn't bottom out for 6 years. More on that in step number 3. And gradually, it's gone up and up and up to the point where we are today, where it's the same level overall as it was in 2006. That's why I'm always confident in saying we're in a bubble, because if we're in a bubble in 2006, definitely in one 2021, because we're at the same levels. Now,
who also believes in this bubble. And the one thing that I find interesting is that both Micheal Burry and George Gammon both capitalized, there you go, both capitalized on the housing market crisis of '08, and they both are seeing correlations, and they both are predicting in the coming months. Well, George Gammon doesn't necessarily say the next coming months, but Burry definitely does. I also wanted to point out, I did say earlier that it was 719,000 jobless claims for the month. It actually says the previous week, and that's of March 27th. So a little bit more significant than I originally thought. And this says that the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index posted 11.2% annual gain in January, up from 10.4% in December. The usual crop of cities topped the 20-city composite: Phoenix, Seattle, and San Diego. Phoenix has now led all the other cities in the index for the 20th straight month with an annual gain of 15.8%. So much for global warming. Phoenix is the place to be, the hottest city on this universe. It was followed by Seattle, which posted a 14.3%. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Annual gain, and San Diego with a 14.2% annual gain. Another very great city. So I just showed that the hottest city in America, 15% increase over the last year. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Miami, 9.93%. Let's buy a house in Miami, people. 9.93%. Let's go. Let's go.
Now, that's where this housing market is right now. We got people with $500,000 homes, you know. They don't have retirement. They don't have saved money. Do they have a down payment? I don't know. No one knows. No one knows how this is happening. Or, I don't know, maybe I should just take off the tinfoil hat, listen to those interdimensional beings massage my brain, buy my $500,000 house, go to Del Taco, come home in my $500,000 house, and watch some Netflix.
Vite, un pour le flic est vite, appelez les flics, c'est Bungie. Flic sort l'automatique, mon flow est trop technique.